What is going on, everyone? It's Sean O'Connell, the managing director here at CinemaBlend, and we are continuing our run through Season 1 of Big Little Lies as we prepare for the opening of Season 2, which is coming up very soon. And from what I saw in the last episode, Season 3, things are really starting to heat up. We're learning a lot more stuff about Shailene Woodley's character and her dark past. The war between Reese Witherspoon and Laura Dern is heating up, so I'm going to dive right into Episode 4 of Season 1. This one, I'm told, is called Push Comes to Shove, which should suggest that a lot of stuff is going to start hitting the fan, and that is when I think that this show is really going to kick into a higher gear. Before I press play, do me a favor, go down, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. Every time we post a new reaction video here on CinemaBlend's YouTube page, you guys will be alerted to it. Without further ado, let's get right into Episode 4 of Season 1. This is called Push Comes to Shove. 90% of this show is just shots of California. 80%.
I came here actually to propose that you and me and Bonnie and have dinner together. Personally, I'd rather shove an electric eel up my ass and have it gnaw through my intestines. Sit down with you and fucking Psycho Ed. But you know what? I'll do it. Because that's the kind of fucking fucked up fuck shit father I am. How about that?
The mayor is trying to shut down this production of Avenue Q at the community theater because it's not appropriate. So.
Why didn't you tell me about the
I
briefing?
told Madeline I'd help her out.
Legal help?
Maybe I want to know about the briefing.
Yeah.
How come we didn't have a conversation about this?
Come on, dude!
Long enough to have a conversation. After the talk shifts from the kids, you're off packing your bag. You gonna hit me now?
Oh, Lord, you two.
Do you want me to hit you, Celeste?
The neighbors actually heard them practicing for the talent show.
They came to trivia night with their game faces on.
We're talking about viciously competitive people.
Uh-oh, girl, what's going on? Jump. What did you do, Jane?
What happened between you and my dad?
That's what I want to know.
I'm concerned.
About?
Your stress level.
I'm fine.
Well, you couldn't get pregnant. When you were working, the doctors all agreed that it had to do with...
I'm not trying to get pregnant.
No, I'm just saying. The anxiety.
Yeah, I know my history.
In breaking news, Madam just told me that she's thinking about moving.
I'm just thinking
What?
about it.
No.
No freaking way.
Oh, come on, don't give in. Ziggy didn't do it. Do not let them get to you.
I'm not giving in. I don't know, I need to do what's best for my kid.
Madeline told me about the dinner you and Nathan are proposing, which I think is potentially a good idea. We're gonna do this dinner, but I think it'll be up to you and me to keep things civil.
I hear you.
All right?
How are things with you and Ziggy?
I'm fine. He's nice. We're friends.
That's great. What do you and Ziggy like to do together?
We just like playing and stuff.
And he's nice to you?
Yes.
Amabella? Is somebody still hurting you?
I found Ziggy's father.
You found him?
Well, I think I found him, but it's Saxon Bakery. He's an interior designer in San Luis Obispo.
Among other things, I hope we're open-minded. I mean, I think what draws a lot of people to Monterey is its progressiveness. But opinions aside, legally, you've already lost. The California Constitution goes way further than the federal one to protect the First Amendment. But to answer your question, Renata, who are we? I don't think we want to become synonymous with suppression and prior restraint. We're going to face accusations of being anti-American and anti-free speech. I mean, that's not the politics that you've been practicing, Mayor Bartley. So I would say there are bigger black eyes than putting on a controversial musical, especially ones that have won Tonys.
You were fucking brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually kind of annoying that you look like that and you're smart and educated and intelligent and sympathetic. You even had Cruella agreeing with you at the end. Did you see her face? I mean, come on.
I feel so ashamed for saying this, but being a mother, it's not enough for me. It's just not. It's not even close. It's evil, right? I'm evil. I've said it out
You
loud.
are not
I
evil.
am. This is
I'm not gonna let you say that.
What, you think it?
And I'm not a performer, I'm not a director. I didn't know what to do, but it just made me feel like I was doing something. I wanted more. You're gonna be a lawyer again. No. I mean, I have never seen you like that. For 4 years I've known you, and your face looked different, your body changed. You miss it.
You're right.
These two are so
Fucking miss it!
I have reason to suspect, and only suspect, that Amabella Klein is still being bullied, and that Ziggy may be the culprit. Do you have any reason to suspect that Ziggy could be violent?
No.
Maybe something from his past?
No!
You sure? Your aggression is not
He is a
helping.
sweet, docile young boy. He's never hurt a fly.
No, dude.
Oh
No.
my God.
I know, out of nowhere. I'm still shaking. 1 minute we're talking, and then the next. What's this tongue in my throat?
This is assault. He assaulted you.
I might have kissed him back. What? It was like a reflex. You know, somebody kisses you, you kiss them back. I might have grabbed his ass. I don't know.
What?
It just all happened so fast. And the next thing I know, he has his hand in my shirt. Or was it my hand in his shirt? What? It was a reflex.
So you're saying the thing's mutual?
No, he jumped me and then he yelled at me.
I'm in love with you. You hear me? I'm in love with you, Madeline. I have been
For months? So I slapped him. What? This is not funny, Celeste. I'm a married woman and he forced himself on me. Okay, forced himself means the wrong word, but I hated every minute of it.
Here, ladies.
Look at that shot.
When she's 10 feet tall.
Oh my gosh.
The last time we had pizza and we went to the zoo, you told me we were moving to Monterey. What now?
You're gonna go see a child psychologist.
So a court appearance, huh?
Probably not, but what's the big deal?
The big deal is that you lied to me.
Oh.
You said it'd be one meeting yesterday and then
No,
be
I
over
never
with, and now
said
you're going to
that. I
court?
said I thought it would go away quickly, and I still believe that it will.
I don't want you doing that.
Well, it's not your fucking call.
Mom?
Okay, let's go, sweetie.
Hey, champ.
Hi, Dad.
Have a great day.
We're gonna be late.
Oh my gosh. You lunatic. Maybe he gets killed. Maybe Celeste kills him.
I can see that you're nervous, so I'm just gonna cut right to the punchline. I do not think Ziggy is a bully. He doesn't show any of the classic signs of a bullying personality. He's not narcissistic. And he certainly demonstrates empathy and sensitivity.
Sorry.
I think he's suffering from a lot of anxiety, and I believe that there's a lot he didn't share with me today. And I wouldn't be surprised to learn that he himself is being bullied at school.
Ziggy?
I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be shocked. My guess is that it's verbal, and that some smart kid has found his weak spot. And I asked him if the two of you talk much about his father. He said it upset you, and that you're not saying much about him.
Yeah, it's very complicated, so I suppose I'm just worried that he's gonna take it as a rejection.
You were working when he first met you and when he fell in love with you, right?
Yeah. But he just likes me to be at home in the house, and we have the twins, and he's not that crazy about me having too many friends. He's just possessive, that's who he is, so.
Well, I could certainly suggest some communicative tools, but for me, the issue isn't how best to talk to your husband, but why you're afraid to.
I'm not afraid, I just want to have, I suppose I want to communicate it in the best way, that's.
Okay.
I'm not afraid.
Yeah, I think it's him. If I heard his voice, I can still remember his voice. I can also still remember that disgusting smell. Where did you say he lived?
San Luis Obispo. You're not thinking about going down there.
Can't tell how many of these things are flashbacks or wish fulfillments. All right. Oh, man, this is a heavy show when you're dealing with the emotional repercussions that these characters are going through. And what's fascinating to me about Big Little Lies, for the most part, is that, okay, so we know there's a murder. We don't know who the victim is, but there are so many people who potentially could be the victim depending on how this show pivots, the different ways that it could go. Like, what's to say Adam Scott doesn't find out what's going on between Madeline and the theater director. We meet Madeline, who's always been a sort of bullish type A personality. She is very much losing control, as she says, as she admits to her husband, right at a time where Celeste seems to be gaining more of it by practicing law and feeling alive due to the fact that she is filling this void that's left inside of her because she sacrificed her professional career. And that's an interesting parallel to see Madeline sort of spiraling a little bit out of control and Celeste trying to gain a little bit more of it back. At what cost, though? The more Celeste becomes independent, the more she's going to face the wrath of her abusive husband. And dear God, Skarsgård is just an awful, awful person. Perry and Celeste are so messed up. Like, they are so mad. That is such an unhealthy relationship. And he's become predictable and cliched a bit to the point where, like, every single time that she's doing anything, he's questioning why he wasn't brought up to speed with it. And it's repetitive, but I don't doubt that that's not, like, a legitimate thing that happens in relationships, especially abusive relationships, where the person who would be in Celeste's position feels like she's always having to answer to what is going on, and these irrational, nonsensical requests of, how come I wasn't informed about this? Why didn't we discuss this? Well, it's just happening. God, the performances in this are incredible. I know people have been raving about the cast in this show in particular. Obviously, they've been amazing in so many other things too, but the way that they are rising to the occasion of this material, the scene in the car between Reese and Nicole was so great, of Reese sort of empowering Nicole, like, look how good you were in that meeting, you were amazing, like, how come you don't do more of that? I've never seen you be like that in the 4 years I've known you. And Nicole letting that wall come down inside of Celeste of saying, like, yes, I missed that, I want that, like, that defined me for a little while. And confessing what I would assume would be a really difficult thing for a woman to confess, is that, you know, being a mother to these two children is not enough for me. I need more. I need something that's me. I need something that's Celeste, and this unfulfillment is fantastic. We get more into Jane and this memory that she's being haunted by. We keep going back to the beach, but I can't tell with the show what it's doing, like how much of it is memory versus how much of it is wish fulfillment. And it kind of comes to, like, what happened on the beach? Did she confront that guy? Did she chase after him? Was he actually running ahead of her? Are the shoes actually there in the sand? And when it comes to Ziggy, did Ziggy actually snap and choke somebody? Or is the therapist right? Which would make him a very convincing liar. So that's pretty interesting too. And, you know, the Ziggy being a threat is not going away anytime soon. And I've been saying in my reactions that something wrong with that kid. There's something wrong with that kid. But the performances continue to amaze me. We're no closer to figuring out what's going on at the fundraiser than we were. And so in that sense, I'm going to say that, you know, episode 4, in a show that had more twists and turns, this would be the episode, especially an episode that calls itself Push Comes to Shove, this would be the episode that really started to power things through. But maybe Big Little Lies is not that type of show. possible that's just not that type of show. That maybe there's little developments that will keep moving us along as we get to what ends up becoming the big physical confrontation that ends up in murder at the fundraiser. But a lot of little changes in each of the main characters that I think are going to have relatively significant. I don't think Big Little Lies doesn't feel like it's a seismic change show. It's going to be little things that change. Like now we know Madeline has been having an affair for a long time. Now we know that Celeste potentially had a breakdown earlier. We didn't get a lot of Renata this time, but we got a lot of Jane, and we're still trying to figure out what her backstory is. But it almost seemed like when the therapist was telling Jane that Ziggy is not a bully, that Jane didn't believe it. And Jane almost wanted her to sort of confirm what Jane already knows about her son, which is that he has a lot of issues that stem from things that have happened in their collective past. And so I do find it interesting that she would even suggest that it might be time to move back, because it seems like they definitely were running from something in the first place, and going back to confront it would be a mistake. So we're past the halfway point of this season. We have 3 episodes left to go, and as I mentioned, these characters are fascinating, and they're being developed at a deliberate pace, and they're setting up a series of what could become potentially volatile confrontations, and to that end, depending on which of these we decide to follow, I'm not quite sure who the victim is going to end up being at the fundraiser. I could harbor a bunch of guesses, and I could back up with data that's been shown in the first 4 episodes that would convince me, oh yeah, that's definitely going to be the dead body, and this person's actually going to be the one who pulls the trigger. But for now, I'm going to sit back and let the ride continue. So we'll be back with episode 5 of season 1 of Big Little Lies. We've got 5, 6, and 7. Thank you very much for following along so far on the Big Little Lies reaction series. Again, we'll be back for episode 5, so go down, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and as soon as we post the next video in the Big Little Lies reaction series, you guys will be alerted to it.